Hi guys, it's your book bestie here, and I have another review. So today I am reviewing The Housemaid by Freida McFadden. I am rating this a 4 out of 5 stars. This is my second book that I have read by Freida McFadden, and I am so much in love with her reading style. Her stories are so easy to follow, and they're just along one of my favorites. So without further ado, let's get into it. So The Housemaid has 3 main characters in it. We have Nina and Andrew Winchester. They are husband and wife. And we have the third character, Millie. Now the book mainly centers around Millie. She is a young girl who's had a extremely troubled past. She spent the last 9 years in prison. And she's trying to get on her feet, trying to get a job, make money, and she has applied to be the housemaid nanny for the Winchesters. She goes and does the interview with Nina Winchester. She thinks Nina is such a nice woman. She thinks the Winchesters have this amazing life, this, extravagant life. They are wealthy. They have very nice things. Nina does have a daughter named Cecilia, and she is Andrew's stepdaughter. So Amelia applies for the job, and she gets this dream job that she is so excited about. She cannot believe it. It is a live-in position. So she's been, like I said, in the dumps. She just got released out of prison. She's been living in her car, and she gets this live-in opportunity to go live in this nice extravagant house, have a bed that she hasn't slept in, have a bathroom, have like all these amenities, lights, water, right? Get to live in a house, and she gets paid for it, right? So she's like, yes, please sign me up, check, double check. So she immediately, in the start of the book, she moves in with the Winchesters, and she starts being their live-in housemaid nanny. Well, the dream job she thought she got, turns out it's a job from hell. Literally. Nina Winchester is like the character that you grow to hate, right? She's the antagonist. She's the evil person, if you will. She starts making up these lies, or making Millie believe that she threw away some of like important paperwork for Nina's job, just like spiteful things. She'll start throwing these big tantrums where she like starts throwing everything in the refrigerator into the floor at one scene. And she looks at Millie and goes, "Clean up this mess you made," and just walks out. Excuse me? But Millie's had it hard, right? This is the second job that she's been able to get out of prison. No one wants to hire someone with a record. And she's just, trying to be so thankful and so grateful for the Winchesters for giving this opportunity to her, knowing, her history and her background. So she lets Nina slide with all the bullshit, and she cleans up her messes. And that takes a strong woman, which made me start to really love the character Millie. She's been through a hard time, and she's just trying to be better. Although every single force around her is like literally like trying to knock her down, she's just pushing through it. And, that makes you really enjoy that character. She's actually, okay, so we're back to, she thought she won the job of her dreams. Turns out it's the job from hell. Nina, the wife, is like this horrible, wretched woman. They have the daughter Cecilia, who is incredibly mean to Millie. Just, doing things as you would assume a child do, say, just, being a little bratty. And then you have Mr. Andrew Winchester, right? The husband that has to carry it all. He has an ungrateful wife, a spoiled little stepchild, but through it all, he loves them so dearly. Such a caring, sweet husband. He doesn't deserve anything that Nesta Winchester does to him. Girl, in true Freida McFadden, she puts a nice little plot twist in there. Millie has been a housemaid for several months now, right? she's grown to hate Nina. Nina is so awful and mean to her, just downright spiteful. Her child is a spoiled brat who has, to Millie's standard, lied to her multiple times. And then there's sweet, poor, innocent husband Andrew, who goes to work during the day to provide for his family and makes all this money to come home to Nina bitching at him, Nina throwing things on the floor. Nina can't get pregnant. You know, Andrew and Nina really want a family of their own, want a baby of their own, since Cecilia is not Andrew's, and they've been trying for a while. And they go to a fertility clinic in the story, and as it turns out, Nina cannot have kids anymore, and Andrew is just devastated, and Millie feels like he just is going through so much, bearing so much weight on his shoulders. What a fantastic guy. Wrong! There is a humongous plot twist that you don't see coming. Andrew and Millie start, as you can already guess, start to have this romance, fall in love. He kicks Nina Winchester out. Millie's like, yes, Andrew, I'm going to give you everything you deserve. You deserve a loving wife. You deserve a wife that's going to give you kids. You deserve this life, and I'm going to be everything for you, and we're just going to live happily ever after. And Nina, that evil, wretched bitch, she's out the door. She's going to have to survive on her own. Well, plot twist is Andrew is a psychopath. Complete psychopath. He has this thing where he has these rules, and one of the rules is as simple as you can't have your roots showing. I'm talking like how I have my blonde hair and then my extremely grown out roots. No ma'am, not for Mr. Andrew Winchester. The storyline goes back to when Andrew and Nina met, and Nina herself thought that she had found this intelligent, successful man making all this money, and this man that wanted to provide for her and this kid that wasn't his, and that's such a great man to take on another man's kid, and, you know, just this wonderful family. She got suckered into it as well. Right after Nina and Andrew got married, Andrew was like, your roots are showing. And she's like, oh my gosh, you know, with the baby, I forgot. I will like call and make an appointment, like, you know, as soon as I can. It's just been crazy around here. He locks this girl in the attic and says, you have to understand the consequences for what you've done. And until then, you can't leave this attic, this room. And she's like, the consequences for what, Andrew? Like, what have I done? And he's like, hair is a privilege. I can't let my wife walk around like a slob.
Huh?
Lord have mercy. You can tell that he's damaged as fuck. So this whole entire time, Nina has lived this horrible, awful marriage with Andrew, who would punish her and make her go into this attic, starving her, depriving her of water, not letting her see her kid. Crazy, awful stuff. If Nina did like the most ridiculous things, right? Not get her hair done, drink too much water, not cook the food good enough, put on some weight, like ridiculous shit that Andrew would then punish her for. So Nina's trying to get out of this marriage, but she's having a hard time. Andrew has somehow manipulated the police, the people around her, to believe that Nina is crazy, that she actually tried to drown Cecilia during a psychotic break, and she had to go and spend several months in a psychiatric hospital. So while she's trying to deal with that and trying to figure out how to get out of this marriage where her husband is literally abusing her, she comes up with this plan to make Andrew find someone else in a way. You know, she gets Andrew to believe that she can't have any more kids. She gets Andrew, you know, to kind of fall out of love with her. And then she needs someone to replace her, right? I.e., poor little sweet Millie. So when Millie got introduced as the housemaid, Nina set up this plan for Millie and Andrew to fall in love. So Andrew would ditch Nina and stop punishing her and move on to someone else. Albeit not the best choice to make, because Now, as you turn out in present time, Andrew is doing the same thing to Millie. Millie thought that she won this wonderful guy and he's going to leave his, wretched wife for her. Guess who's now locked up in the attic? Millie. And while this is all going on, there is another character I forgot to mention named Enzo. He is the gardener for the Winchesters. But when they go back in the past and show Nina and Andrew's first get together, that's when you really see Andrew come in. Nina had actually confided in Enzo about what Andrew was doing, about how he would lock her in the basement. And her and Enzo kind of developed this friendship, relationship. Enzo's sister had been in a domestic violence relationship, and he had sympathy for what Nina was going through. He had lost his sister to that, and he wanted to protect Nina against Andrew. So Nina and Enzo kind of developed this relationship, and like I said, he's the gardener. And he had also tried to warn Millie, not very well, just like with subtle hints about how dangerous it is for her to be in this house. But Millie was just like, I don't know what he's talking about. Andrew's perfect. So when you find out that Millie is now in the attic and Andrew's like, remember when I saw you reading those books? Yeah, those are my books and this is my house and you can't just be doing whatever you want in my house. You got to learn the consequences. So now Millie is up there, for 2 days without water. So and Nina kind of hook up, if you will. She's free. She's a new girl. This man has helped her. She's now able to get her daughter and, live a better life. Enzo is like, hey, you need to go back and save Millie. This is not right. Millie does not deserve this. Millie is like, Andrew is going to do what he did to you, what he did to Millie. Nina finally, she's like, you're right, Enzo. I have to go save Millie. I was so focused on getting out and saving my daughter. I didn't really understand the consequences, but I understand now. So she goes to save Millie, right? She knows that Millie's in danger. But when she gets to the house, she's like, something's different. Like, both Andrew and Millie's car is here. Like, what's going on? Well, she gets to the attic, right? And she sees someone in there. She's like, I'm coming to save you, Millie. Like, I am so sorry. I'm going to get you out of this place. She opens the door and another plot twist. Millie isn't the one in there. It's Andrew.
Oh, yes.
So along the way, when Andrew had Millie in there, when he went to let Millie out after she, righted her wrong, learned her consequences of her actions, Millie, there was a bottle of pepper spray left by Nina. Millie ended up spraying Andrew with the pepper spray, locked him in the attic, and showed his ass what karma really is. And in this, it's all happening at the end of the book. In this, you actually learn why Millie went to prison for the last 9 years, because it never tells you. She had ended up killing, in self-defense, one of her best friend's attackers. They were at this party one night. She heard some things through the door, and this man was attacking her best friend. She grabs a paperweight from the desk and starts hitting him in the skull until, guess what? He's no longer here with us anymore. So that's what she initially went to prison for. So you can already tell that she has this little bit of vengeful side to her. If you do her wrong, if you hurt her or somebody she knows, she's going to come after you. So once she realized who Andrew was and she pepper sprayed him and got out of that attic and she locked him in there, she gave him a little bit of hell. When Nina walks into the attic, Andrew is dead himself. And Millie reveals to Nina that she had left him in there for 5 days and made him pull out most of his teeth, made him hold books on his nether regions for 5 hours. And Millie's like, you knew that I went to prison. You knew what I went to prison for. You knew I was going to kill him. Nina's like, in some way, I hope that you did. She's like, I wanted to, but I couldn't. And I needed someone to step in and do that. And I'm so sorry I put you in this position, but I'm so glad that I'm free. And so Millie and Nina kind of, reconnect. Millie starts to understand why Nina was that way to her while she was working for her. And Nina, Nina's kind of coming to terms with her finally being able to be free. So they kind of make a plan to blame the murder of Andrew on Nina. Because if Millie, she's still on probation, she just got out of prison. If they get any kind of whiff that she's done anything, she's going right back to jail. And Nina can't let Millie do that, considering Millie just saved her life, kind of. So they make up this plan, and by the grace of God, Nina doesn't get convicted of murder. It's a whole other story. You'll kind of have to read it. It's just kind of quick about how the police officer's daughter used to date Andrew, and she, and he knows that something bad happened, and he kind of mishandled some information and evidence and yada, yada, yada. And now Millie and Nina are both living large in new cities. Nina is with Cecilia. Her and Enzo kind of didn't work out. She just, she needed a new fresh start by herself. She didn't want anything attached to her. So she moved half across the world. Just kind of living the non-tortured wife life, Then you get a chapter of Millie. She's trying to find another job again. She's been doing okay. Nina's been sending her some money. But she needs another job. And Nina had recommended another maid job to her. And Millie is like, okay, sure, let's try it out. And as she's having this kind of like first sit down interview with the wife, she notices bruises on the wife. And the wife goes, Nina Winchester recommended me to you, and she said that you could help me out. And Millie goes, I think I'm right for the job. And then the book ends, and you're like, ooh, she's going to be like this vengeful maid that like kills the abusive husbands, and I'm here for it. I'm totally here for it. There are 2 more books in this kind of like mini-verse. I know they have The Housemaid's Secret, and then they are coming out with a 3rd book June the 11th called The Tales of the Housemaids or something like that. I'm unsure of the actual name, but I'm excited. This was a really good book. I really enjoy Freida McFadden's books. They are very good reads. They're fast reads, and they keep me interested. They keep the plot plotting, So I hope you loved my review. Don't forget to like and subscribe, please. It would really help me out. I really want to start diving into my love of books, giving y'all book reviews, giving y'all book hauls. I'm just a girl who used to love to read, fell off of it. I had better things to do, I guess, right? Life. It wasn't really my thing. And then about 1.5 years ago, I picked it back up, and it has been my favorite thing since. I absolutely adore the book world, and I just want to bring y'all good book reviews. All right, bye. Catch you in the next one.